listening to the Video Game and Nerd Trivia Podcast with Tony D. Video Game and Nerd Trivia Podcast, your episodic dose of trivia covering all things video games and nerdy. Now, here's your host, Tony D.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Video Game and Nerd Trivia Podcast. I'm your host, Tony, and on today's episode, we're going to be going over fan conventions. This is, of course, because it is convention season. So the way it works is I'll ask you a question, give you 5 seconds of silence, and then tell you the answer. And we'll be doing 30 questions, broken down into 3 rounds of 10 questions. Alright, let's play. Round 1, question 1. What is the name of the con that's focused on Power Rangers and is held usually in SoCal, and the biggest one focused on Rangers and its Sentai counterparts? That would be Power Morphicon. I was a big attendee of this back when I wasn't as busy. Alright, so question 2. What is the name of the convention focused on Japanese animation that's usually held in Southern California? That is the Anime Expo. Question 3. What's the name of the largest fan convention that takes place in a city known as the Big Apple? That is New York Comic Con. Question 4. What is the name of the largest and official Disney-focused fan expo? It shares its name with the Disney Fan Club. That would be D23. Question 5. What's the name of the auditorium and stage that the biggest announcements usually happen at San Diego Comic-Con? That would be Hall H. Question 6. Billed as the largest multi-genre and pop culture convention, this convention has a focus on fantasy, comics, sci-fi, and other elements of fan culture. It's held in Atlanta, Georgia, and is named after a fantasy creature. Which convention is this? That would be Dragon Con. Question 7. What's the name of the smaller, more comic-focused convention in Anaheim that's organized by the same group that organizes San Diego Comic-Con? That would be WonderCon. Question 8. Held in Cologne, Germany, it's one of the biggest games convention in the world and absolutely the biggest one in Europe. What is this event called? This is Gamescom. Question 9. What is the name of one of the largest conventions held with a focus on the people who create and develop video games and includes workshops, networking events, and previews, and also awards? That would be GDC, or the Game Developers Conference. And question 10. This was the flagship video game expo for many years and basically the mecca of gamers all over, and it finally shuttered in recent years due to lower attendance and publishers splitting off to do their own events. What was this alliterative event called? This was the Electronic Entertainment Expo, or E3. I actually went to my very first E3 at the very last E3 that ever happened live in person. Kinda sad, but at least I got to experience it, so. Alright, let's head into round 2. Question 1. This is the name of a collection of conventions from the world's largest Comic-Con producer, whose parent company is Informa. Its biggest events are in Chicago, Canada, Orlando, Dallas, and Denver. What's the name of this collective group of conventions? That would be Fan Expo. Question 2. This gaming culture event has 4 active events under the labels East, West, Aus, and Unplugged. The The event was co-created by Jerry Hawkins and Mike Krahulik, authors of the Penny Arcade webcomic. What series of events are these? This would be PAX, so PAX, which is Penny Arcade Expo. Question 3. What's the name of the convention that's focused on horror icons and scary movies that's held in Long Beach, California on an annual basis around summertime? Part of its name sounds like a Shakespeare work. That would be Midsummer Scream. Question 4. This is a trade show that's held in Vegas annually and has the biggest previews for up-and-coming technology and consumer products. What is it called? That would be Gen Con. Question 6. This fairly large event puts a focus on games not made by big publishers and games that are not AAA status but rather independent studio-produced games. What is the name of this event? That would be Indiecade. Question 7. This is the official convention celebrating games such as StarCraft, Warcraft, Overwatch, and more from the same publisher. What is this convention called? That would be BlizzCon. Question 8. This video game event is held in Japan and usually has a lot of announcements pertaining to, but not limited to, Square Enix, and is one of the biggest game shows in the world. What is this called? This is TGS, or the Tokyo Game Show, which I think when I was growing up, it was kind of like it's either E3 or Tokyo Game Show. Those are the two big things that everyone wanted to go to. Alright, question 9. Similar to Anime Expo, what is the name of the event focused on Japanese animation and shares its name with a musician from Convict Music? That is A-Kon, so it's A-K-O-N. I don't know why it's called A-Kon with a K instead of a C, but anyway. Question 10. This Power Rangers convention is not as big as Power Morphicon, but makes its stops to multiple areas in the US, which is probably where it gets its title and name because it's like a one-stop shop of like all things Power Rangers. What is it called? This is Ranger Stop. Alright, let's head into the final round, round 3. Question 1. What's the name of the convention held close to the time of WrestleMania that started off as a collaboration between High Spots and WWN Live? That would be WrestleCon. Question 2. GateCon is a con that celebrates several TV series that originally stemmed from a Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin movie, starring Russell Crowe and James Spader, about an alien posing as a false god. The cast changed for the TV series and spawned 3 live-action shows and 1 animated show. What franchise is this? This is Stargate, one of my favorite franchises. Question 3. Held in Chicago and hosted by Reed Pop, this fan convention focuses on comics and pop culture and is held annually at McCormick Place. What is it called? This is Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, or C2E2. Question 4. Dubbed the fan-friendliest show in the South, what is the name of the pop culture and comics show that's held in a city in which the city's name is shared with a popular Donald Glover show? That would be Atlanta Comic-Con. Question 5. This con debuted in 2013 and became one of the largest fan cons in the East Coast. It's held in Washington, D.C., and you can say it's pretty awesome. What is this con called? It's called AwesomeCon. There was a little bit of a hint in that question there. Question 6. Held in Fort Lauderdale, this is a comic book convention that takes place annually in July and is a subsidiary of ReedPop, recently purchased from previous owners in 2019. What is this convention called? This is the Florida SuperCon. Question 7. Held in Anaheim, California. This trade show is focused on unique independent individuals that create and design their own products, including art, collectibles, and apparel. What is this con called? This is DesignerCon. I went there a few times and I got a lot of really great things supporting local artists. Question 8. Held in November, this pop culture convention is held in Novi, Michigan, and is a 3-day event founded in 1989 by retailer Michael Goldman. What is this called? This is the Motor City Comic Con. Question 9. Held in Charlotte, North Carolina, this comic book convention is focused on comic books almost to the exclusion of TVs, movies, video games, and other pop culture things that you kind of see at the other Comic Cons. What is this one called? This is simply Heroes Con. And finally, question 10. What's the name of the convention located in the City of Angels that was formerly known as Stan Lee's Kamikaze? That would be LA Comic-Con. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I didn't know there were so many different conventions out there. I mean, it makes sense because there's a lot of fandoms out there. But yeah, I'm gonna make through my list of like cons that I should go to and cons that I should visit. But anyway, if you like this episode, please rate us on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you're listening to podcasts. Feel free to reach out on Instagram at VGNTPodcast1 if you want to suggest any topics for future episodes. But until next time, trivia on.